Hello again. I'm going to film the next video right now, so it'll be ready and you won't have to wait as long for it. So here we go. I'm going to say video 4 and hope that it's correct. Okay. So me and my sister, we didn't really go out. We went out during the day, like I said, to the movie theater or places, but we never really like went out anywhere, especially at night, like alone or anything. My mom was, what do you call it, like a helicopter mom, you know, like just paranoid. And me and my sister, we argued a lot. We didn't get along very well. And my mom was tired of it. She's tired of us being at home all the time, arguing all the time, right? So she's like, you guys need to go out. Which is weird because we wanted to go out, but she just never let us. But then she just like made us just go out together. And my sister had a car. Like I said, she was almost done paying off this little red Fiesta. Oh my gosh. I always knew the correct one, and then everyone called it the wrong one, and now I just freaking got them confused. You know what I'm talking about, though, if you know the car, like that little boxy cute car. I love that car. I'll never forget that car. That was her car. So we went out in it, like my mom said. Oh my gosh, the best times ever. If you watch this ever, Amy, it was the best times. So first started out by just going to the theaters at night, you know, kind of driving around. We didn't really know what to do or anything. You know, we were so naive. Oh my gosh. I was like 16 or 17, 16. I don't know. 17 probably. Yeah. And I think she was like 19, around there. And, then we just started like driving around. They had like Patton Avenue, which is like the main avenue. The town was not big, and at night then, like, everything closed. It wasn't like it is now, where you could maybe drive around a bigger town, have things that are open and people out and stuff. Really, there was, like, no one on the streets, no one really driving around much past a certain time at night. But if you went out early enough, you can get on the main drag and kind of drive up and down it, like with everybody else, and just blast your music. And I felt like an idiot. I hated doing that stuff. But we did that for a little while, and then we just kind of started driving off more areas, not just the main strip, you know? And just, we just liked driving around and just enjoying being out at night and the freedom. And then we started, how do you say it? We just started screaming at people. I know that sounds awful, doesn't it? We started screaming at people. We even got a specialty license tag that said Screamers. And everybody knew us and our little red Festiva and our Screamers. Because we would, like, if we saw guys, if there were guys in the car, if there were just, like, people walking around, you know, we'd be like, woo! Woo! You know, oh, sorry, I probably busted your eardrums. We'd scream at them, like, in a good, encouraging way. We learned a lot of lessons like that. Let me tell you, first of all, it was super freaking fun and exciting. I know it's something probably so stupid sounding, but it was super thrilling. Second, don't ever scream at someone like walking when you're gonna be stopping at a red light, or if you're near a red light, because you don't want to be stopped at a red light with now this guy you just screamed at coming right up to your window. Or the car next to you with a weirdo you just screamed at, now trying to get your attention and being all weird. Oh, we learned that. We had one guy that we called Chevy because he drove his old Chevy, and he was a total like creep. And we would just kept like messing with him. Like every time we'd see him, like he would drive around alone all night long too, which is even weirder. Okay, like two young girls driving around having fun, screaming at people might be normal in the middle of the night, right? But some old single like white guy in an old Chevy driving around the streets all night prowling is kind of weird. So we would make sure to scream at him like stupid people we were, right? And then he started like following us. Like we'd get scared sometimes because he'd follow us. And then we'd like lose him. It was just a stupid game for us. But he could have been like some murderer or something. You never know, right? But overall, we were good, innocent kids. We didn't go out and do like real bad stuff. I mean, these are like the extents of our, well, it does get more on. I'll tell you all about it. I'm not embarrassed, but I keep saying that. You know it's good when I say that, right? Oh, one time when we were driving around in the middle of downtown Asheville, and I don't know if we even screamed at this guy. I think he was just a weirdo driving around. But oh my God, of course I'll never forget. Oh my gosh. We stopped. It was like on a little, because, you know, Asheville's hills. It was like on a little hill, and we stopped, and this car stopped right next to us really fast. And that's what got my attention, made me look over. Because it wasn't just like a regular slow down stop. It was like a slam on his like brake stop. And I was like, well, that's weird. So I look over, and as soon as I look over, I see this guy getting out of the car, and he has his penis out in his hand. And I start screaming, and my window's down, you know, some so I can scream at people, right? But we don't keep it all the way down, because I told you, like, if people walk up, I start rolling my window and telling Amy, like, oh my God, go. But it's a red light, and he's standing at my window with this thing, you know, doing his thing. I was like, oh my God, it was so gross. I didn't want to even get out and look at the car later after we drove off and ran the red light and left him there with his thing in his hand. Oh. So that's basically what we did. We drove around, and then we started driving around and hanging out with some people we'd met, mostly guys. Girls never liked us. Girls like me now. That's, you know, never really, like, girls never really liked me, and I just never liked girls as much as I do hanging out with guys, okay? So all the people who hung out were guys, and a lot of them were, like, young, like, thugs, you know. We liked black guys. I never even kissed a white guy. Isn't that weird? Like, right now, I don't care about any color. I like anyone. But back then, I specifically liked black guys. I thought they were just so cute and attractive. And so we would just hang out and smoke and drive around and listen to music, like, all night long. We didn't, like, drink or anything hardly ever. We did start to drink a little, and our first drink was Wild Irish Rose. Won't forget that. I drank, like, a whole bottle, and thank God Amy didn't hardly drink any, because she saved me some from bad stuff. Because for your first time drinking, you don't want to drink a whole bottle of Wild Irish Rose and then be at some strange people's house. No. Thank you, Amy. Oh, being a teenager and being dumb. I think one of the funniest things is that me and Amy were virgins, and we didn't even ever kiss a guy or anything when we were going out with all these guys, you know. And back then we weren't, like, only a little overweight at that point, and we were attractive. And all the guys we went out with, you could hear all of them talking later, and all the girls would tell us that everyone slept with us. Everyone. We were like hoes. We were hoes, even though we were virgins, right? I thought that was hilarious. But I liked going out with everyone. There was quite a few times we did, like, stupid stuff. Kept thinking of all the different things that we did that were so dumb that it could have ended way worse, you know, could have ended poorly. So all this was kind of brief. It only happened, like, for about a year. And then what happened was, we were, like I said, we were naive, we were dumb. And there was this guy these guys that we were hanging out with, they didn't really know that well. I'm going to tell you guys, because I don't know, I'm sure that you guys have heard of me and Amy and our felony. Well, she has a felony. I don't, because she pleaded guilty to get me off. So I'm going to talk about that, because that happened all right here around this time at the end of this, like, year period of us just going out, you know, and driving around. Like I said, we didn't ever do anything bad. We just were hanging around with bad people, and we were naive. What happened with this part was that this same guy, he said that, like I said, we were driving around all hours, and when we were out in the Weaverville area, which is, you know, maybe like 15 minutes outside of Asheville or so, you know, more towards, like, out in the country, there was a nursing home up, like, on this hill, and he said he wanted to stop and see his grandma. And so we were like, okay. And so we had another guy with us. And so we all pulled up outside the front entrance. We parked. He got out and went inside the building, and me and Amy and the other guy sat in the car and waited. It wasn't that long, you know, maybe like 15 minutes. And then he came back out the entrance and got in the car. We went down the hill back to, it wasn't very far off the freeway, you know, only like not even 5 minutes. I mean, only a few minutes. You could just like see the freeway from the nursing home. And on the way to the freeway ramp, there was a gas station. I think it was a hot spot. And we passed that. We got onto the freeway, and this is like in the middle. This is like at 2 in the morning probably. There's like no one anywhere on the roads. So we instantly noticed when there was like 1 or 2 cars that was like right behind us and had got on the freeway behind us. And you know how you can kind of feel when people are just not normal driving, you know, they kind of feel like they're like suspicious. Well, these cars felt that way. And I remember Amy saying something about it. And so one of them started to come up to pass us. And so when I looked at the car, I even told Amy I was starting to freak out because he had like a weird ear thing in his ear and he was like kind of looking a little. And I was starting to get all freaked out, and so was she. And so we pulled off, when we got to the town, we pulled off. And the guy just was wanting us to drop him off at this hotel. Like it was a, you know, not a good hotel. It was just like right in downtown, like a downtown Okie hotel. So we pulled into that parking lot, and this car was still following us. And we were about to, you know, whatever, I don't know. Because as soon as we pulled in the parking lot and stopped, the guy that we were with got out and ran. We were like, what the, you know, and then out of nowhere, we were like in a movie, okay? I lived through a movie. We were surrounded by police everywhere. I'm talking like black vests, shotguns pointing at us, guns pointing at us, you know, like the whole shebang, okay? So what happened was, instead of going to see his grandmother, that guy had ran down the road to that gas station and robbed it. I don't know if he actually had a gun or just pretended to have a gun. I don't remember. I was so young. I don't remember like that case at all. But then he ran back up to the car. I felt like saying to them, you know, now I look back, I wouldn't have said anything back then. I was just, like I said, a stupid teenager. And I think my parents were too pissed to really, like, they probably thought, I don't know what they thought. But do you think I would go back right by the gas station, the only car out at like 2 o'clock in the middle of the morning, and drive right by where I robbed if I was anywhere in on that robbery? Oh my God, I can't. I feel like telling that guy we never saw him again. I don't even know who he was. We only hung out with him a few times. I feel like saying, you dumb little, you know, couldn't he have taken us a different place? You know what I'm saying? We might not even got arrested. I wouldn't have known anything. Well, I would have turned him in. But anyways, of course, the police didn't believe us. You know, we were 2 young girls with these 2 guys. You know what I'm saying? And so we had to do like the court thing, and there was no way we were going to get off. Like I said, we had nothing to prove that our story. It's just our word, right? And so Amy said it was the hardest thing she ever had to do was to actually say she was guilty. It's the only thing you can do to get like a plea bargain thing, which got me off altogether. But me and her were no different. Just because she has a felony, I should have that felony too. Me and her did the exact same thing. We both just sat in the car and, you know, drove the guy, okay? On accident too. So there's that story. Like I said, say whatever you want. I don't care. I know the truth, you know. You know, it didn't end up being quite so bad because Amy, I think she just got parole. You know, she did not have to go to jail or anything. And while she's on parole, she was pregnant. So she was at home with Trevon, and she had a little apartment, and she would just stay with him and give him so much love and attention. Her little baby, she was so happy, you know, to have him and to be with him. And we stopped at that point, of course, because she couldn't go out anymore. She stopped, you know, that kind of lifestyle, and I kind of half stopped it. I'm glad that Amy did get pregnant and that she had Trevon, because like I said, our lifestyle changed. If I had kept on if we had kept on like we were, even though we were basically, you know, not bad or doing anything that bad, we could have easily gone to a worse lifestyle. So I'm glad that we stopped with that dumb teenage crap, you know. I wonder if she still has that Screamer license tag somewhere. That'd be so funny, wouldn't it? So we started working at Earth Fare, which is a health food supermarket. And we were both cashiers there. And we worked there for years and years. And it was such a wonderful place to work. It was like one of the first actual like big organic healthy food like supermarkets. You just look like co-ops and stuff before then. And we just totally got into like organic stuff and healthy stuff. And Trevon would come to Earth Fare, and he'd like, everyone loved him when he was a little baby. And he just like, we were there for so many years. He basically like grew up helping and being there and knowing everyone. It was so wonderful working at Earth Fare. I loved it. You know what? I think that was quite a bit of adventure for one day. I'm sure you guys need a break again. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good week.